So, we talked last night about fourfold practice. Now, the second of the practices is what I call participation. What's often called participation in this model. And one of the real keys to participation is listening. Listening is our ability to engage in conversation with someone else in which we listen to them. But it's also listening to life. It's listening to what's happening around us. So listening can happen in lots of ways besides just with other people. But it's good to be practicing it with other people. Because listening is a very, very fundamental skill for leadership, for learning, for life. So 4 levels of listening is a model that's developed by a man called Otto Scharmer, who has written a book called Presencing. And so it's another one that's referenced in the companion guide if you want to learn more about it. The 4 levels of listening suggest that there are different ways in which we listen to people and we listen to the world. The first level he talks about he calls downloading. And downloading is where we just take in information. And we take it in completely within our own worldview, our own preconceptions. Everything that we listen to, we hear within the way we already understand the world. So there's nothing new in it. Everything that comes in is just a reconfirmation of what we already think, what we already know. So think of it as being in a room with all the doors and windows closed, shutters closed, it's a dark room. Everything that comes in has to come into your closed world. And so what you see is just your own projections on the wall, because it's the projection of what you already know. So you can think of listening here as coming into this space inside this closed circle. It's all just reconfirmation of what you're already thinking and already doing. The second level is what often happens in science. We call it factual. It's asking questions and it's allowing your beliefs and your preconceptions to be challenged. So it's about taking your own foundation, about bringing in new information that can change how you see the world. So the thought here is that rather than being in the center with all the windows closed, it's moving to a window and you're looking out the window at the world. It's still coming into you, into your closed environment, but you're allowing new information to come in, and you're changed by listening to new information, because it can challenge your worldview, it can challenge your presuppositions, and you change as a result of getting this factual information. So that's the second level of learning. The third level of learning is called empathetic. You all know the word empathy?
Yes.
It's the ability in our brain to actually have mirror cells in our brain that allow us to think and feel the way somebody else is thinking and feeling. So if I'm with someone who's expressing deep sadness, I actually feel sadness in myself because I'm mirroring what I'm sensing in that other person. Empathetic listening is stepping outside of your worldview, stepping outside of your experience, stepping outside of who you think you are, and allowing yourself to step in to the worldview, into the words, into the experience, into the feelings of another person. So this is the kind of listening that you let go of all your assumptions, all your preconceptions about the other person, about the world, and with curiosity you step into their shoes and say, how is it that this other person experiences the world? Wow, isn't that interesting? Isn't that different from how I experience the world? And it's not about being right or wrong, but it's about being willing to step out of who you are. So, Otto Scharmer talked about this as listening with an open mind, as you're willing to take in new information and it challenges your worldview. Talk about this as being listening with an open heart. So this is willing not only to bring in new information, but to actually step outside of yourself and into the experience of another person. So this is the third level, the empathetic level. The fourth level of learning he calls generative. This is similar to what we were talking about this morning when Tracy was talking about working in complexity and the emergence that comes from that place between chaos and order, where something new comes. Something from the future comes into that conversation that didn't exist before. Generative listening allows new possibility. It changes the world. It's inviting the future that's wanting to happen. So it's listening for the future that's wanting to happen, that is beyond my worldview, it's beyond even the worldview of the other person. But somehow in the deep listening to another person, listening to life, listening to the world, new possibilities open up. And so this is what generative is all about. It's what innovation is all about. It's about allowing that new future that wants to happen to come into the present through listening. So you can think here about this being listening. It's beyond you, it's beyond the other person. It's really, we refer to this as open will. So it's open to what's wanting to happen. It's beyond your attachment to your own worldview, beyond your attachment to the view of you and another person. It's allowing something totally beyond that. So these are the four levels of listening, and it's also an invitation into practice. The truth is, reality is, we're all practicing already. And if we're practicing without consciousness, we're probably practicing downloading and manufacturing. Our education system sometimes encourages this move from downloading to factual. Many education systems encourage people just to download and get the right answers on the test. Science and some educational disciplines encourage us to take in new information, to experiment, to broaden our worldview. But that's probably where most of us are practicing if we're not being conscious about this. And so it's an invitation for us to practice empathetic listening. And that's particularly what you're going to be invited into this afternoon in the appreciative inquiry process we're going to be in. Stepping outside of your own worldview and into another's, allowing the other person's experience to really touch you at an emotional level. And then, if you're lucky, who knows, maybe we'll have some opportunities for some generative listening. For me, these are practices, and this one is still almost a gift. I'm still at the place of trying to learn how to practice and encourage and increase the frequency of that. So for me, it's a gift. The more we can practice, the more. Any questions?
You say that's right, learning, but this one, how did you